I spend an ungodly amount of time researching watches. I work in the wonderful world of watches, and I spend a concerning amount of time thinking about watches. So here's my 6 predictions for what we're going to see happen in the watch space in 2024. What models might be discontinued, introduced, reintroduced. Now, this is my 3rd time making a predictions video, and my track record is historically not very good. So bon appetit. Let's get right into it, starting with Rolex because they're sadly my favorite brand. This is going to be the year of the GMT, with the GMT Master celebrating its 70th anniversary. So last year, 2023, was a real toss-up between the Submariner and the Daytona, and which one Rolex would really focus on for their anniversary years. But this year, the only watch that comes to mind for me is the GMT. Released in 1954, the GMT Master, reference 6542, featured a luminous Bakelite bezel insert, and was powered by the caliber 1036 with the GMT complication. But here's my hot take. I think Rolex is going to discontinue the Pepsi, the BLRO GMT Master II, and bring back the black bezel variation. Well, an updated version of the black bezel. Instead of being all black, they're going to do a black-gray bezel, like what they did on the gold models last year, but now available in stainless steel. Rolex have been reporting for a while now that they are struggling to make the blue-red Pepsi bezel, so perhaps we're seeing them wind down production on that model to make room for a new anniversary GMT? As for other models, I think they're going to have to give the Oyster Perpetual some breathing room this year. The Celebration dial was awesome, but it was too wild, and I don't think the Celebration will be discontinued yet. Or maybe that's what I'm telling myself because I want one so bad. I think there could be something new and exciting within the Datejust, maybe experimenting with titanium for a Submariner or something like that. That would be really cool. They probably won't do it, but it would be cool. I know everyone in the watch space always says Rolex is boring and safe and they're evolutionary, not revolutionary, which is mostly true, but they've been doing some weird, unpredictable stuff these last 4 years. Like the colorful dial Oyster Perpetuals or the left-hand drive GMT. Like, who saw this coming? And then, last year, was the Celebration Oyster Perpetual. I would not have predicted that in a million years. They kinda haven't been boring and safe for a few years, in my humble opinion. So I'm worried that my predictions are a bit too boring and safe. I think we'll see something completely different from them. Okay, I had to put this one next. On Wednesday or Thursday last week, the Swatch Instagram page began posting teasers of a new Snoopy watch. Now, I've spent a lot of time overthinking this, watching this video in slow-mo, and I have a theory. So, we all know how Omega has milked this Speedmaster heritage to the moon and back. Boo! And 2024 will mark the 55th anniversary of the moon landing. So, perhaps the Swatch Snoopy collaboration has something to do with that. Now, I've been overthinking this video, I'll put it up now. But if you watch it frame by frame, it begins with an open briefcase with Omega Swatch, MoonSwatch written on it, and the phases of the moon. There are watches in this case, with most of them looking quite standard, with the second to last one standing out being blue. And then if you look at the cycles of the moon, they're all pretty normal from crescent to full moon, except a blue moon. So, my official theory, I think there will be 7 watches marking the 7 stages of the moon cycle. New moon, waning moon, quarter moon, full moon, waxing gibbous, first quarter, and waxing crescent. The blue moon will represent the new moon. And each of them will have a wee Snoopy incorporated in some way to celebrate the 55th anniversary, and the NASA Silver Snoopy awarded to Omega. Huh? I think it's an alright theory. I think it's a good one. It's the best I can do. I swear, if they release this watch, if images get released of this watch before this video goes live on Monday, I'm gonna lose it. Now there's another space-themed watch that is being released today at 3 p.m. GMT time, the new IFL Space Surfer Citizen Soyotza. IFL are also today's fabulous video sponsor, so thank you so much to the team over there. And look at this. Tell me this isn't the jolliest thing you've seen in a while. There is literally an astronaut surfing on Saturn's ring. So I've been working with IFL for a while now, and it's watches like this that remind me why I love working with them so much. This watch is hand-painted by IFL's in-house artists using enamel paint. And the level of detail they get on the dial, the intricacies are just fantastic. The colors on Saturn and the tiny flames on the surfboard, even the details of the stars in the sky. So this is actually my first time ever being hands-on with a Citizen Swaioza. I've wanted to get one in to review for a while. I think this is one of the best go-anywhere, do-anything watches, but with that slightly more elevated feel with the President-style bracelet. This has a 40mm stainless steel case, 50 meters of water resistance, date function at the 3 o'clock, and the Citizen Caliber 8210 movement, or Citizen's version of the Miyota 8218, giving you 40 hours of power reserve. But for me, it's the dial art that brings this watch to a whole nother level.
Gonna take it to a whole nother level. You see what I mean?
I think this is really freaking special. If you're into these, if you're loving them, IFL have an exclusive link for Gringa viewers. It's in my description. Go give it a click so they know I sent you. The price on these is €890, and they have so many other fantastic watches on their website. So go check them out. And thank you so much to IFL for sponsoring today's video. Okay, so I can never make accurate predictions for Tudor. They always come out with something so weird, so different, so left of field that I would have never come up with. But I'm still gonna give it a go. 2024 is a meaningful anniversary for Tudor as well. In 1954, so another 70th anniversary in the Hans Wilsdorf Foundation, Tudor introduced the reference 7922 Submariner, one of the most beloved watches of the brand. Now, Tudor lovers, we need to have a talk. Come here. We need to accept that the Tudor sub is never coming back. It just doesn't make sense for the Rolex and Tudor branding for both of them to have a Submariner. But it is the Black Bay collection that seems to be the modern iteration of the Tudor sub. Now I remember thinking when they released the Tudor Black Bay 54 last year, why wouldn't they save this for 2024? The 54, in its name, is harkening back to 1954. So why wouldn't they just wait a year? My official prediction is that they're going to go all in with the Black Bay 54 this year. Last year was just a trial ground. It was the trial run to see if the watch world would get on board with a 37mm dive watch. As it turned out, we did. And this year, they'll be launching this in new materials or maybe new colors like they did with the Black Bay 58. Maybe an 18 karat gold, 925 silver, bronze, maybe even a titanium? And for colors, maybe a blue. They love doing blue, and they do blue so well. Looking at the bigger picture, I think the Black Bay 54 will be the headline of the year. Slight modifications will be made to the Black Bay 58, hopefully finally getting the T-Fit clasp, and they might even upgrade the movement with a Med-S certification. Okay, if you followed my channel for a while now, you know I'm a staunch defender of TAG, and I desperately want them to live up to their full potential. There have been some big movements over at LVMH, the conglomerate that owns TAG. With the new CEO, the former CEO of Zenith, coming on board, what I really want to see from TAG in these next few years and decades is a revival. That was an obscure joke. But I'd love to see a revival of them leaning on their Heuer heritage a little bit more. Heuer oozes mechanical watchmaking heritage. They were on the cutting edge of chronographs and arguably created the first automatic chronograph. Heritage models like the Octavia, Carrera, the Monaco. They don't need to be making these subpar connected watches, in my humble opinion. Rant aside, there is a big anniversary this year with kinda the baby of the TAG catalog, the Aquaracer. Back in 2004, they introduced the Aquaracer, rooted in Heuer dive watches from the 1980s. I don't know what they'll do with this line to celebrate, but I would expect something new from this range. So, I made my Omega Swatch predictions, but what will we see from just Omega? Predictably, I think we will see something from the Speedmaster, commemorating the 55th anniversary of the moon landing. It won't be anything as exciting as the Apollo 11 50th anniversary, but maybe a Moonshine Gold anniversary model with a blue dial and bezel? I always think a moon phase would be cool, but I don't think we'll ever see that. Yeah, I don't know. They're going to find some way to bring up the moon again, but I don't think they're going to go too wild with it. Watch them go wild with it just to make me look like an idiot? But I'd love to be wrong. I'd love to see something bold and out there, and preferably in stainless steel so more people can afford it. I think we might see some updates to the Seamaster line in general, so some new Aqua Terras, movement upgrades for models with the caliber 8800 because 55 hours of power reserve on an in-house movement is kind of just not in keeping with modern standards. My other prediction is to see some of the Omega catalog thin out a wee bit. I think they will discontinue the Denim Railmaster, a few of the Seamaster Diver chronographs, and just have a general thin out of a pretty large catalog. But yeah, guys, those are some of my predictions. I don't feel great about them. Do you guys have any predictions for 2024? What we might see at Watches and Wonders and other events? We'd love to hear about them in those comments down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. And now we're going to thank the gorgeous, fabulous, wonderful, never done anything wrong in their lives ever Pope tier patrons. Oh, hello, Pope tier patrons. It's me, just a little bit zoomed in. And I just want to thank you guys for supporting my weird little channel, and a special shout out, special big thank you to the newest Pope tier patrons. I haven't done this shout out in a while, so I'm going to put a few names in here. Apple Tree Man, Sus Time, Darth Ryan, and newest Pope tier patron, came for the watches, stayed for the praise. Welcome, guys. Welcome to Gringa Land. Thank you so much for supporting my weird little channel. I hope you all keep enjoying my content because I love making it, and I hope people keep enjoying it. I know watches are just a silly little thing to talk about, but they bring me a lot of joy. I'm glad they bring other people joy. I'm talking too long. Names on the screen, you're perfect. All patrons, you're perfect as well. Bye, guys.